Okay, that's very loud. Good afternoon. I'm going to go ahead and call the State Allocation Board meeting to order. The time is 4:01. This meeting is being held in person at the East End Complex Auditorium at 1500 Capitol Avenue in Sacramento, California, 95814, for anyone who would like to provide public comment in person. The meeting is also being conducted by way of Zoom meeting for members of the public who would like to participate remotely. In order for this meeting to run efficiently for those participating remotely, please note the following guidelines. All attendees will be muted during the meeting. If any member of the public would like to make a comment, please use the raise hand feature in the Zoom meeting interface, and I will call your name at the appropriate time, and OPSC staff will request to unmute you. If you're calling into the meeting not using a computer or the Zoom application on a mobile device, you will be unable to provide public comment. Also note, the board will meet in closed session upon the conclusion of the general meeting pursuant to Government Code Section 11126 E2A for the purposes of conferring with and receiving advice from legal counsel regarding pending litigation. I'd also just like to acknowledge that we have the recent appointment of 3 new State Allocation Board members. Assembly Member Dr. Dashana Patel, who is unfortunately not with us today. Senator Roger Nilo, who is, welcome, Senator, again. And Senator Christopher Cabaldon, who I believe is also not with us today. But congratulations on your recent appointments and welcome to the State Allocation Board. All right, with that, let's go ahead and move on to roll call. Ms. Jones, would you please call the roll, noting any members joining us remotely?
Certainly. Senator Perez. Senator Nilo.
Here.
Senator Cabaldon. Assemblymember Davies.
Here.
Assemblymember Quirk Silva.
Here.
And that is a virtual participation. Assemblymember Patel. Juan Morales.
Here.
Jeremy Smith.
Here.
Elizabeth Williamson.
Here.
Michelle Peralt.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you so much. Let's go ahead now then and move on to our next item, which is to consider the minutes from our January 28th, 2026 meeting.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The minutes from the January 28th, 2026 meeting are on stamped pages 1 through 11 of today's agenda. I'm happy to address any questions, and I'd request that the board approve the minutes.
Thank you so much. Comments and questions from the board members on the minutes from January 28th? Seeing none. Are there any public comments on the minutes? Seeing none. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? Moved by Assemblymember Davies. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Member Smith. If we could please have a roll call.
Senator Nilo.
Aye.
Nilo, aye. Assemblymember Davies.
Aye.
Davies, aye. Assemblymember Quirk Silva.
Aye.
Quirk Silva, aye. Juan Morales.
Aye.
Morales, aye. Jeremy Smith.
Aye.
Smith, aye. Elizabeth Williamson.
Aye.
Williamson, aye. Michelle Peralt.
Aye.
Peralt, aye. And that motion carries.
Thank you so much. We also need to consider the minutes from the February 25th, 2026 meeting.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The minutes from the February 25th, 2026 meeting are on stamped pages 12 through 23 of today's agenda. I'm pleased to address any questions and request that the board approve the meeting minutes.
Thank you. Comments or questions from the board on the February 25th, 2026 meeting minutes? Seeing none. Any public comments? Seeing none. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Member Smith. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Assemblymember Davies. If we could please have a roll call.
Senator Nilo.
Aye.
Nilo, aye. Assemblymember Davies.
Aye.
Davies, aye. Assemblymember Quirk Silva.
Aye.
Quirk Silva, aye. Juan Morales.
Aye.
Morales, aye. Jeremy Smith.
Aye.
Smith, aye. Elizabeth Williamson.
Aye.
Williamson, aye. Michelle Peralt.
Aye.
Peralt, aye. And that motion carries.
Thank you so much. We'll move now on to the Executive Officer Statement. Ms. Kirk.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm pleased to provide a few updates to the board today. Firstly, regarding the 7th Career Technical Education Facilities Program funding cycle, which is currently underway. The California Department of Education recently released the grant application scores for applicants who submitted grant applications by the December 1st, 2025 deadline to the Department of Education. Those applicants with a passing score can submit their application for Career Technical Education Facilities Funding, the Form SAB 5010, to the Office of Public School Construction by 11:59 p.m. on June 30th, 2026, for consideration in the 7th funding cycle. We anticipate presenting 7th funding cycle applications to the board for funding consideration by December 2026. Additionally, as a reminder, we do have an upcoming funding round for the California Preschool, Transitional Kindergarten, and Full-Day Kindergarten Facilities Grant Program, which will open with applications being accepted beginning on April 1st, 2026, and until the round closes on April 30th, 2026 at 11:59 p.m. The Office of Public School Construction recently hosted a webinar for prospective applicants to that filing round, which is available in a recorded version on our website for prospective applicants to receive a comprehensive overview of the program's eligibility criteria, the process for application submittal, and requirements for financial hardship eligibility. Additionally, this month, the Office of Public School Construction, jointly with the California Department of Education, have held the first 5 in a series of nearly 12 in-person joint workshops for new programs related to small school districts in various locations throughout the state. These workshops provide detailed information on the new small school district program established by Proposition 2, the financial hardship program, as well as 2 programs administered by the California Department of Education, the Supporting Priority School Districts program, as well as outreach made possible through their grant from the Supporting America's School Infrastructure Grant Program. These workshops will continue through mid-April, with meeting details, including the locations of upcoming events, available on the Office of Public School Construction's website. I'd also like to report to the board that in February 2026, we did receive one-time extension request due to a state of emergency declared by the governor, which was approved. During periods of emergency proclaimed by the governor, our existing regulations direct the executive officer to provide relief to school districts and maintain equitable participation in the board's programs, which can include deadline extensions. An online extension request form is available for school districts that are unable to meet deadlines during a state of emergency declared by the governor. And finally, our next meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, April 29th, 2026. I'm pleased to address any questions.
Thank you so much. Comments or questions from board members on the executive officer statement? Okay, seeing none. Are there any comments from the public? All right, seeing none. This is not an action item, so we will go ahead and move on to our consent agenda. Consent agenda. Ms. Kirk.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Today's consent agenda is on stamped pages 26 through 88 of the agenda. I'm pleased to address any questions and request that the board approve the consent agenda.
Thank you so much. Are there comments or questions from the board members on the consent agenda? Okay, seeing none. Any public comments? All right, seeing none. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion.
Moved by Assemblymember Davies. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Morales. Great, thank you. Secretary, if you please call the roll.
Senator Nilo.
Aye.
Nilo, aye. Assemblymember Davies.
Aye.
Davies, aye. Assemblymember Quirk Silva.
Aye.
Quirk Silva, aye. Juan Morales.
Aye.
Morales, aye. Jeremy Smith.
Aye.
Smith, aye. Elizabeth Williamson.
Aye.
Williamson, aye. Michelle Peralt.
Aye.
Peralt, aye, and that motion carries.
Thank you so much. We now will move on to our financial reports. Ms. Kirk?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The financial reports are on stamped pages 89 through 106 of today's agenda. I'm pleased to address any questions.
Comments or questions from the board on the financial reports? Seeing none. Comments or questions from the public? Seeing none. This is not an action item, so we'll continue now on to our reports, discussion, and information items. Ms. Kirk?
Thank you, Madam Chair. These items are on stamped pages 107 through 160 of today's agenda. I'd be pleased to address any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Comments or questions from the board on the reports, discussions, items, or information? Okay. Comments or questions from the public? Okay, seeing none. This is not an action item, so we will now go ahead and move into closed session. The board will meet in closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 11126E2A regarding developments in and the status of the case entitled Milani Rodriguez versus the State of California and Alameda County Superior Court, case number 25 CV 150626. All board members, could you please follow Ms. Jones to the adjoining conference room? Remote members, please join the closed session Zoom link emailed to you this morning. And upon the conclusion of the closed session, I will go ahead and report out from our session if necessary. Thank you so much. Great, thank you. Okay, good afternoon. We have concluded closed session, and pursuant to Government Code Section 11126E2A, the State Allocation Board met in closed session regarding developments in and the status of the case entitled Milani Rodriguez versus State of California in Alameda County Superior Court, case number 25 CV 150626. The closed session has concluded, and the board met with litigation counsel to discuss the current status and the strategy regarding the pending litigation. At this time, with no other items before us, I will go ahead and adjourn the meeting at 4:50. Thank you.